business.
Go, go, go!
Hey everybody, Wrench and Hyuk here yet again, bringing you the 6th set
Nice.
in KT Rolster versus SKT1. Oh my god, we are in the 6th set. 3-2 KT, 1 win away from taking this title. And they have the Terminator facing off against Hyuk, who he has, as you see the numbers down there, never lost to before. And what more do you need than that? You have Hyuk against Flash, and you can tell by the coaches right there. The KT coach sitting there all, yeah, I think we're okay. I think we'll have this. We still have an ace match just in case, but we should have this right here. Well, the T1 coach sweating, his hair's falling off, falling out of his head, and looks like he's sincerely considering early retirement. So it doesn't look good for the defending champions, but hey, they've done an awesome job just to get to the finals. So putting all their hope in Hyuk, maybe not the best case scenario, but let's see how it all happens. Go, 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 go. Morale boostage. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Should have had a booth girl like Flash Hyuk or something, so that he might get a morale boost and maybe like turn into Beast Hyuk and go crazy. Anyway, this is gonna be on Judgment Day, fairly even between Terran and Zerg. So we're gonna see lower left-hand position representing Mustard, Flash, Terran. Lower right-hand position representing Ketchup, gonna be Hyuk as Zerg, and yeah.
I am Mustard. Yes, Flash in the 6th set. This is exactly what KT was waiting for, because now they have 2 opportunities to send out Flash. I mean, if Flash doesn't win here against Hyuk, they could always send him back out into the ace match. So, yep, I think KT's fate is going to be lying in the very prominent shoulders of Flash. He almost never loses, especially in these high-stakes matchups. I mean, if you need a player who's not going to be nervous by a crowd, gotta go with Flash. He's been in so many of these situations, so many finals, in front of so many huge crowds. You can never see any nervousness on his face when he's in this kind of position. So Flash, the absolute best person they could have at this point, and that's why they saved the best for last. So Hyuk, oh man, what can Hyuk do against Flash? Of course, Hyuk is a very aggressive player known for his cheesiness and timing attacks. Usually he doesn't want to get the game to late game. He's the strongest in the early to mid game, so he tries to keep it at that with Zergling run-bys and whatnot. So he's going to try to catch Flash off guard if Flash is going for an early Expo build. But Flash, thankfully, he's going for his barracks first. Looks like he's already studied the kind of player that Hyuk is. But Hyuk already throwing down his expansion, and it is pretty common for all of the races to go for 3 expansions quickly, 3 expansions as quick as they can on this map, just because they're so easy to hold.
Quick refinery.
Yes, quick refinery from Flash. This means he's most likely going to go for a mech build or some other kind of tech build. We'll see very shortly, but mech is so strong on this map. I'm remembering the game Light versus Hoja in the last Pro League final. It was just a complete slaughter. And Hyuk is going to have to hope that same thing doesn't happen to him, that kind of vulture harassment.
Yeah, Flash is going to go, let's see, vultures, dead Zerg, right. Vultures equals dead Zerg? Maybe. So he's definitely just good position for Flash to be in, just where he wants to be, matchup that he's been killing in, cutting gas production completely now after he gets that first factory down, so you might want to expand quickly off that. Only has 1 Marine going down right now. Just going to go out there and spot what's going on. spot an Overlord and run back home because he's scared of Overlords. They're scary people. And actually put in a bunker inside of his main, so he might actually be sticking just his main for now rather than expanding right off the bat. Might try to go for early Vulture harassment. Hyuk meanwhile sending out drone scouts and putting down his lair quickly at the natural expansion to kind of keep it safer and so he can take more damage. Canceling the bunker now, Flash, so he's maybe was expecting a run by or some such early on. Hyuk's known for some early aggression right now. Meanwhile, now just going to try to pick off that SCV scout, which Flash has in his base. And Flash is sent out a second SCV, which I think is actually going to put down the Expo at that gas expansion, maybe. Not altogether too sure. We're going to see just trying to kind of mine and, put down that Expo at that gas expansion. Kind of split himself up a little bit. You kind of can be put yourself in a bad position by taking that base because it's a little bit harder to reinforce, I guess. But still, I don't see Flash being in too much trouble. Going for an armory, so he is going to stick to mech, apparently. Yep. So we're looking forward to see how this develops. Hyuk, though, has this kind of figured out, has a Hydra's den out there, so he's going to go for Hydras to counteract this.
Yeah, let's see how the early Vulture harassment is going to go, if it's going to be effective or not, because the Vulture will be in soon, already making its way towards Hyuk's natural expansion. And Hyuk will be wanting to throw down his third base soon. Let's see. Oh, here comes Flash. He has a SCV in as well, kind of just as a distractionary thing, and he can repair the Vulture at the same time. But that's not going to end up working at all because there are too many Hydras out here, and this Vulture is not going to be able to get through. So Hyuk already has a pretty smart defense going, but he's going to be dealing with such a strong mech build. Flash is taking his third base now, so Hyuk needs to get his third base down as soon as Zergly possible. Let's see if he does throw that down soon. He needs it so soon, but he is putting down his Spire. He's going to switch into another kind of tech to help him deal with the Goliath coming his way. Flash does have his second base up and mining, getting the third. The third is being built while Hyuk is doing a nice wall off with his Hydralisk, though. Has a nice wall of Hydralisk there to intercept the Vulture harassment. Doesn't want the same thing that happened to Hoja to happen to him, so he probably studied that game, studied the possible outcomes of what players would go for on this map. But okay, has the Hydralisk out front, and I'm not sure what he's going to do from this point on. Knowing Hyuk, he's probably going to try to push the front soon with units, but it looks like he's saving up for mutas. He might try to push in with his grouping of mutas and Hydras. That would be a very strong attack at the front if he can position himself there and still allow a little bit of defense at home against those Vultures. But all right, here come the Mutalisks. Let's see if he can get this done.
Hyuk significantly improved his Mutalisks control in the last year, I would say. Is at one point was like, but really he's been showing his Mutalisks control a lot, especially in his ZVZ, where his matchup is by far the most solid. And if you put Hyuk out in a ZVZ, he will give you a win. And he won't just, maybe he'll win this time, maybe we'll get lucky. He will actually give you a win. Flash Mill getting an SCV Scout in there. Clutch SCV Scout. Mutalisks out there. No turns out for Flash. Only a few Goliaths to defend. That does bring the trouble of you kind of have to swing them around to place. We're going to see what Hyuk actually managed to get him out in the open. No Charon boosters should be out there at this point. Mutalisks going to go in there, deny one turret. Mutalisks going to come here to force them back, though. Goliaths, going to come in there, force those Mutalisks back. Meanwhile, Flash going to have the opportunity to put all his turrets up as he needs them, so he's just going to consolidate his build. While Hyuk should be expanding soon, because Flash actually not putting up a base. I thought thought we were throwing up a base there at the natural, but it's just a barracks sitting there. So Flash doesn't stick to 2, and it looks like Hyuk's going to try to stick to try to do some harassment with these Mutalisks, but with all those Goliaths out there, I'm not quite sure how successful it's going to be for him. Finding out going to expand at the 3 o'clock of all things, interestingly enough.
Yep, taking down the fourth base. Hyuk's third base. Surprisingly enough, he is not expanding at the mineral-only natural expansion. But this is what I like about Flash's new mech play. He incorporates so many turrets into his mech play these days. It is ridiculous. He is definitely revolutionized the mech build just by the use of turrets. Makes it so difficult for a Zerg to get the kind of pincer attacks they need. Not only that, but it stops the Mutalisks dead in their tracks and stops their harassment. So expect to see Flash throw down maybe 100 and something turrets, as he did in a recent OSL game. I think it was 108 was the exact count against 0. So that was an insane amount of turrets, but it worked out fantastically, not only stopping the air harassment, but kind of acting as a block out there in the field, the way that supply depots do versus Protoss. Just make the Protoss attack those instead of your army, which will tear them up. So it's kind of the same philosophy. But okay, Hyuk has third base coming up. but he is going to be somewhat behind Flash. I was mistaken earlier as I thought that Flash was taking the mineral-only natural expansion, but he did just have that barracks there, as you said. I just looked at the mini-map and saw that, but he will be taking that soon. He is going to be able to take that soon, and probably once he goes out for a little bit of aggression like he's doing now, having plenty of Goliaths out to snipe these mutas. Oh boy, so Hyuk going to have to fall back and get out some nicer unit composition than that. Probably going to get some Hydralisks along with those mutas, because the longer he sticks with mutas, the greater the danger of the science vessel irradiate, which makes mutas wake up in their sleep because of nightmares. But alright, Hyuk preparing that third base, getting the sunken colony up, going to prepare for the big push from Flash, and as Flash is taking finally that natural expansion mineral only.
Yeah, T1 players and coaches are now thinking that, maybe instead of going for those little tattoos across the faces, maybe we should have gone for actual Celtic war paint. Like blue all across, yeah! To, thrust fear into the hearts of our enemies. Wouldn't have worked on Flash because he's emotionless and a robot.
Give me your clothes.
Give me your clothes and take off that ridiculous paint. It's ugly. So Hyuk's just going to stay on 3 while Flash can work on his own third base. Look at all those freaking turrets being put up. That is insane. And looking at what's going on right now, you really see that Flash doesn't really have much in the way of units. Hyuk has a few Hydras out there, mass amounts of Mutalisks, which are just going to get ripped to pieces by Goliath. Meanwhile now, his new base at the 9, just a couple of Mutas to defend. They're going to be able to take care of those Vultures, but he's not really saturating it. Focusing so heavily on Force is going to go for the attack. Bunch of turrets. Going to force him back, so the only thing Hyuk does is fly around and take damage, which is, yeah. Trying every little bit he tries, he just can't do it because Flash going so heavy on the turrets everywhere. Make sure, and honestly, Hyuk could have just gone for mass Hydras, maybe even broke the front. It's going to go this massively with the Mutas. Isn't going to have enough. A lot of Goliaths in there, catching a little bit with not as many turrets at this point. I'm not quite sure who's going to be able to break this. Some more Mutalist reinforcement going to come in.
Yikes.
Trying to fight some Goliaths, but Flash even more Goliaths from the left side, and those turrets fighting on top of SCV, trying to come in and repair as well. How are these mules going to be able to do enough? Even more mules going to try and come in here, also taking fire from all sides. Left side Goliaths, and the bunker is doing a decent job. Where the heck are the Hydralisks? Sitting around drinking tea, being English, not doing anything. While the Mutalisks do all the damage here, at very least forcing a float. Yeah. Finally, the Hydras come in, pick off the bunker. So Hyuk doing something, but I think he lost a lot there. Flash just safely floating in that command center away, taking some damage. So he might not be able to get that base up right away. Going to get forced inside of his 2 bases, but still not in a bad position. Unfortunately for him, he's got late science vessels out there. That one science vessel in that position would radiate, would pretty much snuff that attack out, but still getting turrets up all over the place. Wants to make sure that doesn't happen again so he can safely put up a base. Waiting on his irradiate and his science vessels right now. Hyuk just trying to clear at the front. Going with Zerglings yet again. Going to try to pick off the turrets before he can move in with his Mulik. Isn't going to be enough. Goliath's going to come in if you're trying to take off these Zerglings before they do all the damage they're just trying to pick off. Look at all those turrets. Not even sure he's going to be able to do much against these Mutalisks. Not finding an opening to go anywhere or do anything, and Flash going to stay on these 2 bases fairly well. So despite the float, he didn't really lose too much. So he stays on 2 bases 3. That's not in a bad position to be.
Yeah, once the science vessel is out now, so that's going to spell doom for these Mutalisks. See if we can get an irradiate already. Hyuk sneaking his way in past a huge amount of Goliaths, taking a lot of Goliath fire from the Charon boosters, but he's trying to pick off some SCVs the best he can before the first irradiate gets off on these. There it is, the first irradiate. Hyuk. Oh, the KT is going crazy. They know that once the Mutalisks are down, that's pretty much it for Hyuk because he's focused so much on Mutalisks at the moment. Now trying to fly away over a huge turret trap. Hyuk. Oh, KT's celebrating. Look at that war cry from the coaches. Because they know that now Flash is going to be so powerful with this mech build. He protected his 3rd command center. He still has that ready to float over. And Hyuk is banking on the fact. Look at this drone saturation from Hyuk. I had no idea that his 3rd base was such a poor saturation on that. In true Hyuk form, he is going for an aggressive attack just to try to break Flash's defensive, but it's going to be so hard with siege tanks now, so he's got to back off and get up his drone saturation. Man, I had no idea that he was at such low drone saturation, getting out units like that. He's just been focusing on all units to get rid of that 3rd base, but it's not looking good for Hyuk now because Flash, once he gets that third base over. I mean, Flash, he has way more troops than what's showing on screen, I'm sure. He has a bunch already macroed up, ready to go. Plenty of turrets. I think he needs to build at least 14,000 more turrets, but we'll see how that goes in this game. Big attack from Hyuk. Radiate on the Hydralisk, though. I don't think the Hydralisks are going to be able to break with the tank in the back like that. The tank in the back playing the role of destroyer of Hydralisks.
Yes. I am Conan the Destroyer. Oh my god, that is the most depressed coach I have ever seen. I think some 30% more of my hair fell out. I'm going to need a toupee. But, oh man, Hyuk, yeah, no saturation. No, even if he tried to saturate something now, what would be the point? He just is economically so behind. He did a little bit of damage there at the front. And unfortunately, if he had had a fully saturated third base, that would have counted for at least a little bit more. But Flash at this point has a full defense against Hydras, has a full defense against Mutas, and he has so many forces out there. Now, Hyuk finally, I think, thinking of expanding. I'm not sure why he's going to do that. He doesn't need additional hatchery. He needs some saturation. Drones coming off the line. One Vulture. This is Judgment Day for you people. One Vulture going there, picking up several drones and forcing them all off the line. And I think everybody's screaming KT, KT, KT at this point, and I don't really see any way for Hyuk to really get back into this game. He's lost all of his forces. He has nothing out there, and Flash in an extremely strong position. Hyuk expanding at the upper right-hand position now, and that's not really going to do. He's trying to get an extra gas, I think, but I don't really think it's going to do much for him. He's just in a bad position, facing a huge amount of Goliath, some tanks to support. Just those tanks just sit at the back, rip everything to pieces. That's at the front. All those Hydras go down with the Goliath just act as a blockade. If Mutas sort of fly by, you got turrets. You got a bunch of those. You got turrets. And those Goliaths, of course, as well, rip those to pieces. So Flash in an extremely solid position, looking just a few minutes away from giving KT the win here.
The art of the turtle. But yes, Hyuk, he's doing the right thing here, rolling the dice with that fourth base, trying to... he's rolling the dice a bit, trying to say, well, maybe Flash won't attack me soon. If I throw down that fourth base, I might be able to keep up with the macro from Flash from these three bases for a little while longer and stay in this game. But yeah, I have a feeling that Flash will move out very soon and try to take down a couple of bases each. And Hyuk is not going to be prepared for it. He just doesn't have enough troops. He lost so many troops earlier and didn't keep his economy going. So, okay, there's Flash looking for extra hatcheries. He wants to make sure that Hyuk hasn't double expanded, because if he did, he would be moving out right this very second, but he decides to group up a few more troops. Before that happens, a nice sneak attack on the science vessels. So it took down a couple of science vessels. That's what he was trying to do with that attack. Very successful. Flash is moving out. I am the Terminator. Getting into position to move out into the middle of the map and cause a lot of damage to Hyuk. Oh man, this is going to be such a powerful army. Actually didn't get a chance to look at the upgrades from Flash, but I'm sure they're extremely high. 2-0. Oh man. 1 armor, 2 attack now for Flash versus no upgrades for Hyuk at all. He hasn't even had the resources to get the upgrades he needs to fight this back. You need a lot of carapace against a mech build. But okay, here comes Flash, working his way towards the main.
Yeah, 2-1 upgrades on Flash at this point. 1 Carapace upgrade on the Mutas, of which he doesn't have that many at this point. So now we're going to watch the death of Hyuk. The sequel? No, but yeah, Flash, I think, with all Science Vessel as well, even the Lurkers, possibility of Lurkers at this point, not going to help him out. Putting in a bunch of Sunkens. But I don't think Flash even needs to bother to try to siege him from range. He can just run right in, pick them all off. Hyuk has, meanwhile, somehow from out of nowhere managed to get a humongous number of Mutalisks, so he's hoping to, like, maybe Sunkens, maybe Mutalisks going to get raided twice, and he's not splitting them off. Oh, lordy, going to go for this attack here, finally. But, yeah, KT are all clapping like crazy. These guys can be able to take care of this. Mutalisks just flying around and dying. Too many Goliaths, too many siege tanks, too much everything for Flash. And look at that smiling face. Oh, what the hell was that move with his face? The Terminator has emotions? Impossible. I did not design it this way. But amazing, amazing, amazing. Unfortunately for T1, their role players did not all get wins. It was paramount for them that Bisu, Best, and Fantasy all get a win each.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, one of the reasons this is happening, that has not happened. Hyuk, GG's, and Flash with a magnificent smile on his face runs out, waving his hands, and wins it all for his team. Although you could definitely say that this was not a Flash-only effort like it would have been in, say, Hwasung's Oz's case. Every guy brought their best. Every guy. KT won as a team despite having a guy like Flash on it. So, team victory all the way. Beautiful.
Yeah, this is why a team like KT will succeed, where a team like Hwasung Oz won't. Because like both Jaedong and Flash are extremely good players. They're both ace players that you can expect to come out in set 6 and 7. But KT just had such strong play today. Very, very smart play, very strong play from some players you might not have expected to get wins. But of course, players like Stats and Violet have really boosted their play to the level where you're saying, well, they're not just pretty good players, they're really good players. So I can see why they fielded them in this position. But yeah, fantastic job by a well-rounded team. That is the important part. It's not Flash Rolster, it's KT Rolster.
Yeah, so finally another season of StarCraft is at an end, and just feels just like, like a few weeks ago since we cast the other finals, like last summer. So it's kind of insane. But another season's over, so there's going to be a little bit of a break. We, of course, have both Star Leagues going on, which Nuke and I are busy with.
Mm-hmm.
Joy, joy, joy. So, advertisement! No,
You're drunk.
No, I'm not.
Yeah,
What the hell are you talking about?
I can tell.
I'm not drunk. I am not drunk. I do not drink at commentaries. That's a lie.
You just said you did.
I had one beer. What the hell? Dude, it's 3 o'clock. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. What do you expect from me? What are you expecting? I need caffeine, sugar, and booze to keep me going.
Well, you made it. I'm proud of you.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. But anyway, T1, the winners. I'm sorry, T1. It's my soul singing. But KT winners this season, so they can all be happy and return next season. And of course, this is just wonderful, following up their hugely disappointing season last season, where they didn't even get into the playoffs. So already, all of them taking off their shirts.
This is for the ladies.
And of course, yeah, you can hear the ladies in the background screaming right now. So it's
Boom, baby.
But I gotta say, fun, awesome season with some twists and turns here and there. Looking forward to see what happens next time. And really cool to see teams that just were playing atrociously last season make it into the playoffs like we made. And NBC especially, like, what? It's way out of left field.
Nice. Well, this has been Nuke and Ranchin. Thank you for joining us for the commentaries today. And that's it. Congrats to KT. See you guys later.